Well, hello everyone, it's John Ross here. I'm sending you this video from isolation. I'm recording this actually at my home in Atlanta, and I hope that you and all of your family are safe. So I wanted to follow up on a letter that I sent out this week about minimum safety standards for our stores. Look guys, it's a different world today than it was even just a few weeks ago. And the next few weeks might prove to be even more different. And by that I mean scary or dangerous. Of course, we don't know. None of us are physicians in the grocery industry. We're not experts on disease or viruses. But all we can do is take the necessary precautions that seem to work other places and apply them to our business. And if we do that, hopefully we can keep our teams safe. Now, IGA is unique because we have stores in China. We got 1,000 stores in China. And our corporate headquarters, many of you may not know this, is actually in Wuhan, right at this epicenter of where this whole disease began. And so we can look at what our stores in China did, those family businesses that just like us in the States or in other areas of the world, right, come to work every day trying to serve their communities. We can look at what they did in their communities, the security protocols that they put in place, the hand washing and the safety protocols, and we can apply them to our business. And we can draw inspiration and hope from their success. Because as it stands right now, we know of not a single case of an IGA associate in China contracting COVID-19. Now, when this is all said and done, diagnosed cases versus not, the real data is going to come out, and who knows what it's all going to say. But right now, we have an obligation. And I believe that obligation is to protect our associates, protect our own families, protect our shoppers, and to protect the IGA brand. Because if one store is being sloppy or not following proper safety protocols, if one store doesn't take this seriously and it ends up being a really serious issue in their local marketplace, we could be in a situation where our brand gets associated with improper safety protocols. And of course, that would be a horrific thing for all of us. We are a strong brand. We're a family-based, family values brand. And we at IGA, we do the right thing. And I'm always proud of the decisions that our associates make. Let's make sure that we're doing it in conjunction, that we're using our strength as a chain to learn uniquely what happened in China and apply it to our store. So what did they do? What did they do? Well, it's probably a lot of things you're already doing or have been doing. But if you haven't, please follow this list. I'm asking you, please follow this list and apply it. Make sure your entire store knows what we're expecting. If you do that, you've got a great chance of keeping your associates safe when we come out of this whole thing a very, very strong brand. Now, first, safety protocols. You got to train your associates. Every associate needs to understand that you take this seriously, and they need to understand what we are expecting of them. The good news is on IGA.com, you've got a full training regimen about this, including proper hand and safety washing protocols and information about how to keep yourself and your shoppers safe. Make sure every single associate goes through that training. It's just that simple. It's not hard. All they have to do is watch and click. It's an easy thing to do, and you get a record that every one of your associates went through the training. Now, we've had some national chains that have come under fire recently, including a few stores up in New York that were shut down as rumored of being an epicenter for infection. Now imagine that happening to our brand. You don't want that, and you want to be able to say that you did everything possible. The good news is the IGA training system keeps a record of every associate, whether they took the class or not, whether they completed it, and you want that as an owner, and we want that for all of our associates. All right. Proper hand washing protocols. Got to wash your hands. You got to follow the protocols. In the letter that went out on Friday and again on Monday and attached to this video are the CDC's recommendations on this. Follow those protocols. Make sure your entire associates understand how critical it is and important to you. And make sure you're having the same conversation with suppliers who come in to restock your shelves. Now, follow those two things and you've got a big chunk of these responsibilities covered. All right, but there's a couple other things that I set out. And one of them is to tell our shoppers what we're doing inside of our store. Consumers are afraid. They're concerned, they're confused, they do not know what's real and what's not. And in that environment, they're looking for someone to lead. It's important that you tell your shoppers that you're taking this seriously, that you're having your associates wash their hands regularly, that you're applying safety protocols, you're wiping down carts, you're putting up safety screens, you're wiping down keypads, you're doing all of the things that the CDC and IGA now are asking you to do. Now, we've produced signage for you. You can download it and print it out on your local printer and stick it on your front door and every surface around your cash wrap. And if I were me, I would do it. There's also a resource to have the signs professionally printed. We can get them to you within 24, 48 hours and put those signs up all over your store. And it does three things. It tells the shoppers that you're taking it seriously. It allows your associates to feel proud that we're taking it seriously. And finally, it's a public presentation of our protocol. And you want that. So when people in your town talk about who's doing this right, which retailers are not, they remember IGA. All right. Now, associates at the front of the store should be wiping down carts, and your cashiers should be wiping down both the cart lanes and the public surfaces as well as the cart pad. And you should do this as frequently as you can possibly do it. Every shopper should be getting a wiped down cart. It should be mandatory. That associate needs to be at the front wiping down those carts. I know it's additional labor, but it's really, really critical because the handle of a shopping cart or the touch screen on your keypad are two of the highest touch surfaces in all of America right now, all of the world. And we certainly don't want those infections that are going to happen in our communities to be linked back to us. So make sure you're doing this as you go along. All right, provide proper safety gear to all of your associates. For any associate that's in a consumer-facing role, so we're talking about cashiers, deli managers and deli workers, people in your bakery, people cutting meat, in the produce department, people out on the floor interacting with shoppers, they should be using proper safety protocol, which means any food that they're touching, they need to have safety gloves on. And I know IGAs have used these in food preparation areas, in part of your deli and other parts of the store. That's okay, keep doing that, but let's provide those gloves to other associates who may be interacting with the public or touching food. The shoppers want to see this. It's really, really important that they see that we're taking this seriously. And of course, we're protecting our own associates. Because you still see consumers coming in, touching every cantaloupe and squeezing the fruit like they always did. And of course, they probably shouldn't be. We can't stop that. But the one thing that we can do is make sure that we're not rapidly touching the produce. So let's get them proper safety protocol, which leads me to masks. Probably no topic more controversial the last few weeks than masks. Should you have them? Should you not? Which masks should you buy? Is wrapping your face okay? What's all about? I'm no expert on masks. None of us are. We're grocers. We're retailers. What should we do? Well, we should follow the protocol that worked in China. In China, they provided associates 2 3-ply masks or better every single day when they came to work. All the consumer-facing associates, not the people back in the receiving or not necessarily the folks in accounting, but every consumer-facing associate got safety gloves and they got 2 3-ply masks or better every single day. I'm asking you now formally acquire these products. There's some links inside the memo that went out. Talk to your wholesaler. Many wholesalers are buying these products. If you can't get them, IGA has some resources, and we're trying to do a bulk order so that we can keep the price absolutely as low as possible. Of course, the price is skyrocketing right now, but you should be providing these masks to your associates. Now, what are the issues with that? Well, I don't know. Quite honestly, I can't make a judgment about whether a 3-ply mask is going to be enough, or a N95 mask, or you need a respirator or a spacesuit. It's not my background or training to understand that. All I can tell you is our associates in China used them and they didn't get ill. And using that as a reference, inspired by that safety protocol, which they implemented beautifully inside China, I'm asking you now to do the same thing in our stores. Where available, you should acquire these masks. Now, you're going to get shoppers that are saying, I hear the local hospitals or caregivers, they don't have masks. How come you guys do? And your answer is going to be easy, because we are donating masks as well. IGA Corporate is donating thousands of masks, surgical masks and N95 masks and better, to FEMA and other national and local health organizations as the supplies become available. We're spending thousands of dollars pushing these products out to be able to help our communities. And we printed signs out. There's also a link in the memo that you can print out, put in your store. You can have printed and put out and be proud that we're trying to do our part to help your community stay safe. And you should feel proud that you're doing it, because your grocery workers are no less important than those folks in those hospitals or in any caregiving situation right now. We are feeding America. And we're doing it in a way that inspires me and builds hope and not just inspiration, but confidence that a brand like IGA, a family values-centered brand, where we take care of our people and we take care of our communities, is going to end up standing up and looking great about how we handled ourselves during this crisis. So, formally, please acquire these masks. Please distribute them where supplies are available. I know they're not always available, but when you can get them right now, please use them. And if you need help, you can reach out to IGA, because we may have sources that can help you. All right, a couple of last things here. Ask your shoppers to shop solo. We produced some shop solo signs. You can print them up in your store. Wherever possible, we're going to keep crowds down in your store. Many communities are mandating that only a certain number of shoppers can be in a store by square foot and per square foot. And of course, that's going to come from your local or state agencies. Follow that news. But in the meantime, put these signs up that say, please don't bring your kids. We love kids, but just not right now. Please don't bring a whole crowd. Come shop alone if you can. Let's keep everybody safe. And we've done it in a kind and a general way that I think is in keeping with our brand. So make sure you put that out. Now, what else should we talk about? There are other things. Putting up the screens for your cashiers. If they're available, you should get them. I know they're hard to come by. We've got some links in the memo that will give you some sources, and hopefully they can supply those plexiglass screens for your cashiers. If you can do that, you should. That's more than we did in China. And of course, general common sense. So if you've got a small store, you want to consider limiting the number of shoppers inside the store. In the signage kit that we produce, there are stickers that you can put on the floor that let the shoppers understand how far 6 feet away really looks. You should be putting those up in your lanes. And on busy days, you should consider standing at the front of the door and directing traffic to ensure that we don't have crowding. We're not putting our shoppers, our associates, your families at risk. And of course, we don't want to put our brand at risk either. Now, what we learned from China was that sane and sensible safety precautions taken seriously, implied rigorously inside the store, even involving additional hours for cart cleaning and wiping down public surfaces, that those things not only kept the IGA associates safe and our owners and their families, but it also kept our community safe. And we did not have a single store shut down in China as a consequence of being identified as a locus for infection. And there are other chains that were. So you should be very, very proud of that. 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now, who knows how long this will last. But when we come out of this, I think we'll all be very, very proud for work for a chain that took this seriously, treated our associates and our partners, our vendors, our LDCs with respect, held everyone accountable, but yet acted with common sense. And if you do that, I promise you, we're going to come out of this a stronger brand than we went in. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for everything that your associates are doing out there. I'm exceedingly proud. I know we're all exceedingly proud of everything that IGA is doing to help the community win. Thank you for your time.